Hello everyone, good to see you again. Welcome back. My name is Ted and this is math class. So what are we looking at today? Well, today is lesson number 11. Lesson 11. Our title is The Meaning of Measurements. The meaning of measurements. We're going to learn a little bit about measuring things. How do we measure things? Specifically, what units do we use? Let's take a look at our 5 key expressions. Please remember, listen very carefully. Listen and repeat after me. Are you ready to go? Okay. Number 1. We measure something to find out its size. We measure something to find out its size. Number 2, you use standard units when you measure things. You use standard units when you measure things. Number 3, grams, kilograms, centimeters, and meters are all standard units. Grams, kilograms, centimeters, and meters are all standard units. Number 4, we can use various tools for measuring. We can use various tools for measuring. And number 5, inches are a standard unit of measurement used in the U.S. Inches are a standard unit of measurement used in the U.S. Very good. Good start, everyone. Those are our 5 key expressions. Now, while we listen to the show, while you watch the lecture, please be sure to listen for these key expressions. Are you ready to go? Let's go over to the chalkboard and begin today's lesson. Okay, welcome back. Here we are at the chalkboard. Today, we're looking at measurements. Our title is The Meaning of Measurements. Now, what does it mean, measurement? Well, a measurement is a way of measuring something. What kinds of things do we measure? Well, we measure how tall we are. We measure how much we weigh. So we measure weight and we measure length. Of course, we measure many other things, but those are 2 very, very common things to measure. Now, why do we measure things? We measure something to find out its size. Right. How long or how heavy it is. That's its size. So we measure to find out the size. Okay. How do we measure? What do we use? Do we just say something is this big? No, we use units. We use standard units to measure things. A standard unit means a unit that is always the same. Standard means always the same. Doesn't change. So you use standard units when you measure things. What are some standard units? Let's take a look. First of all, when we measure weight, when we measure how heavy something is, we use grams. A gram is often abbreviated G. 1 G equals 1 gram. Another common one, kilograms. kg, kilograms. Grams, kilograms. They are both used for measuring weight. How about length? How about how long something is? cm stands for centimeters. Centimeters. And a longer unit, of course, is meters. Therefore, here we have 4 very common units, standard units, that we can use to measure things. Grams, kilograms, centimeters, and meters are all standard units. Grams and kilograms measure weight. Centimeters and meters measure length. Okay, good so far. So what do we use? We know the units here, but then how do we use them? Well, we can use various tools for measuring. Various means many different. To measure weight, we can use a scale. We can stand on a scale, look down, and find out how much we weigh. Or we could use a small scale to find out how much smaller things weigh. For length, we can use a ruler. We can use measuring tape. It will tell us how long something is, how many meters, or how many centimeters long something is. So we can use various tools for measuring. Finally, in the U.S., there are some different standard units. Inches are a standard unit of measurement used in the U.S. Inch. An inch is a unit that is used in the United States to measure length. Of course, it is similar to centimeters and meters because it measures how long something is. So in the U.S., they will say how long something is using inches. I will teach you 1 inch . 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. 1 inch, therefore, is about 2.5 centimeters. If you just remember 2.5, then you can understand how long 1 inch is. Once again, inches are a standard unit of measurement used in the U.S. So there we have it, standard units. Grams, kilograms, centimeters, meters, and inches. Those are all standard units of measurement. Okay, I hope you can remember all that. We're going to stop today's lesson now. Let's quickly review what we've learned. Are you ready? Don't forget. Okay, time for us to do a quick review now. Today's lesson was called The Meaning of Measurements. The meaning of measurements. So we learned about measurements. How do we measure things? Why do we measure things? Well, we measure something to find out its size. How big it is, how heavy it is, how tall it is, how long it is. To find out its size. Now, to find out the size of something, we need standard units. You use standard units when you measure things. Standard means always the same. These units are always the same. A centimeter is always a centimeter. A gram is always a gram. In fact, those were some good standard units that we learned. Grams, kilograms, centimeters, and meters are all standard units. They are all very common. To measure things, we also need tools. We need scales to measure weight. We need rulers, measuring tape to measure length. We use various tools for measuring things. Finally, we learned about a standard unit of measurement in the U.S. Inches. Inches are a standard unit of measurement used in the U.S. to measure length. Okay, great job everyone. A lot of very important and interesting information. Keep reviewing it, keep studying it, keep practicing it, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.